So, you want to learn how to wheelie? There should be no question in your mind about what does what on your bike. For instance, where's the clutch? Where's the throttle? Where's the brake? The other brake? Where's the shifter? Or which brake do I use and when? Wheelies, they're not something that novice riders should be concerned with. Even if you think wheelies are really cool, or maybe your friends are pressuring you into it, it comes down to what you are willing to risk. Is it worth it to give in to peer pressure, or should you practice at your own pace and leisure? Firstly, we need to discuss the core skills that are required to execute successful wheelies. Thankfully, 3 out of the 4 core skills can be established and practiced without wheeling. The first and most crucial skill is body positioning and control. You, the rider, need to know where to sit on the seat for wheelies. You need to be positioned on the back third of the seat, as this changes the balance of the motorcycle towards the rear, lowering the balance point and making it easier for wheelies. On the same topic, hand placement and grip angle should follow this one simple rule: shoulders, elbows, and wrists. This means that when the rider's in the proper stance, their wrists, elbows, and shoulders will align with each other. This stance allows for better control over the motorcycle, as well as better body mechanics and better leverage over the bars. If you see here, I got my elbows down. Things just kind of happen. But if I'm up over the bars like this, I can drive the bars as I need to. Also, it's preferable to use a kid's trail bike for practicing and learning. While this isn't a skill, it will make practicing more approachable. A motorcycle of this size will likely have reduced power, allowing you, the rider, to feel more comfortable when trying something new. The second skill is clutch control. Not only does clutch control apply to wheelies, but it applies to every ride you take. The clutch is not just something you use for starting and stopping or when changing gears. The use of the clutch requires the skills to modulate, as well as to slip the clutch as needed to control power to the back wheel, along with the muscle memory to pull in the clutch when coming to a stop. The third skill is throttle control. The rider controls the speed of the engine with the throttle. Hence, it is imperative that you, the rider, has confident control of the throttle at all times. The rider should never place their hands on the grips at careless or sloppy angles, as this will result in failure to control throttle input. For instance, you hit a bump and your wrists are down like this. Whoops, I get yanked back and the throttle gets applied even more. On a bike like this, that doesn't have very much power, it's minimal. But if you're on a larger bike, this is why I recommend using a reduced power motorcycle, is that larger bikes have a lot more power, and so a little bit of throttle input's going to give you a heck of a lot more oomph. So it's crucial to learn stuff like this on a little bike where consequences might not be as severe or as sudden. Lastly, the fourth skill is rear brake control. Mastery of the rear brake heavily involves formation of muscle memory and neuronal pathways. The first several times that you wheelie will be scary, and you will forget what you think. You will revert back to what you know. This means that you will lock up or freeze in that moment of fear, and you won't hit the brake. This has got to be one of the most aha moments of learning to wheelie. Once you get through that initial mental freeze, you can start making progress through practice. But until then, it feels scary and like you're just not good enough. It's like banging your head until the wall breaks. Finally, given that you have practiced all 4 skills, you should have the ability to start practicing wheelies on your own. Continuing to build on these foundational skills, your confidence will also grow, and soon you'll want to share it with all your friends. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider writing a comment, and if you liked it, consider leaving a like. If you would like to see more videos like this, please check out my channel. Alrighty, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Alright, these are pivot turn wheelies. We're going to be utilizing rear brake. We're going to have our 1 foot down, and this is our clutch hand, this is our throttle hand. We're not going to be using the front brake for this, so yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to give a little throttle, like that, a little blip of throttle. We're going to time that with a little release of the clutch, and then when the bike comes up, we're going to hit the rear brake, time that with pulling in the clutch. That's going to look like this. Boom, we hit the rear brake. So that one was very close. If you notice, I had very little momentum in that, and I was very close to the balance point. So when I hit the rear brake, it took a while for it to come down. If I hit the rear brake sooner, the front wheel would hit the ground sooner because I'd have more momentum. Like that. And right there, I hit the rear brake, I pulled in the clutch. Now you have to pull in the clutch before you hit the brake, because if you hit the brake, it's really not going to do anything, and I'll try to show this here. Yeah, I hit the brake and it stalled the engine, but it didn't stall the engine until I let off the throttle. Yeah, I hit the brake pretty hard there, but I also let off the throttle. If I had kept on the throttle, it would have kept going. See right there, I was hitting the throttle and the brake at the same time, and the engine really, you could tell it was struggling, but it wasn't stopping it. So this is why you got to pull in the clutch. At the same time, you got to be able to time it. And there, I got a little rotational momentum, and centrifugal force actually kind of threw my body out to the outside. But I pressed the rear brake just in time to bring the front wheel down, and I could kind of stabilize. That one was pretty smooth. I haven't ridden with these boots before. These boots have a lot of tread on the bottom. So if you're riding on foot pegs like this, you're going to want to make sure that your boots don't have a ton of cleats, because you'll have a hard time moving around the pegs naturally. It's just one thing that newer riders will definitely get a benefit out of. As newer riders, you want to eliminate a lot of things that are extraneous, weird feelings, like, you know, your gloves don't fit right, your helmet fit too tight or too loose. You don't want a bike that's too tall for you to where you can barely touch the ground and you're tiptoeing. That'll not help your confidence. A bike that's got like a lot of power, really twitchy, you know, things like a 2-stroke, like a kid's 2-stroke bike, they're just not going to help you learn wheelies. If you are an adult and you're trying to learn wheelies, say you got a 250 or a 450, and you're trying to learn how to wheelie, look, if you don't know how to wheelie from riding kids' motorcycles, a 250 or 450 is not a great place to start. They tend to be heavier. Well, I say that, but this bike's almost 200 pounds. But the stature of the motorcycle and the power delivery of the motorcycle is really not going to be friendly to people who are timid and really, you know, this is their kind of decision point. They may or may not choose to continue trying to wheelie. So if it's you that's pushing yourself and, you know, you're wanting to learn how to wheelie, you're probably not going to get discouraged, but save yourself the headache. If you have access to a kid's bike, this is what you want for practicing, because the power is so soft. It's not gonna, you know. I mean, this thing goes, but like, look at this rev. Oh, well, we're in gear. Hang on. This thing does not have a lot of crazy power. Like, it's got plenty of get up and go, but but it's not going anywhere real fast, you know. You check that out. There's a first time for everything. First time I've ever done that. All right, let's see if we can wheelie around this big willow bush here. Let me get my balance all right here. Oh, oh man, I gotta work on that. I got a little angle to it there, a little bit of lean. I will say I haven't been on the bike in about 6 months, so I'm a little rusty. My wrist is like, oh, it's so numb right now. It's so tense from holding the bar and using your throttle. That's the practice. That's what I said about a regression is easy. But I will also say that it is 104 degrees outside right now, and the only thing keeping me cool and allowing me to hear my own thoughts over the beat of my heart is the fact that I'm getting just a little bit of air through my helmet and a little bit of air under my shirt and pants. So let's keep moving. I get this little out of balance. I'm sure everybody knows this when they try to wheelie, but sometimes you got to find your right seating position, you know? Tired already. learn how to wheel.